Vault Hunters! You've come in search of the secret lost vault of Pandora!
Everybody run!
All right. Once again, Real Reviews is back with a fresh, hot, just right out of the theaters review of Borderlands. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm good. Yeah.
They're great.
And we got special guest Remy. Oh, hey Remy, what's going on? It's good to have you on the show. How you doing?
Fantastic. Doing so
Yes.
good.
This is gonna be a good talk. Oh, of course. You know, when they dropped the trailer for Borderlands, you were so vocal about it. And you being a gamer girl and all, we definitely had to have you on the show to get your perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Jake said.
He hated this from the trailer. Come on. Why is she even here? No, I'm just playing. I'm playing. We know she's gonna dog this movie out. Like that's the only reason why she's here, but it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. JS1, how you feeling?
I'm blessed, bro. It's been a beautiful day. It's rained. That means it ain't been 90 degrees. Yay! I had a cake. And then went to the movies. It was cool. Came out of the movies. It was cool. I'm telling y'all, man, I've been loving it. I love rain. And I just can't wait to jump in bed and listen to the rain and make me fall asleep. But before that, we have to talk about Kevin Hart and Borderlands. And I think that was the only black person in the film.
No, sorry. All right. Yeah.
All good.
All right. So I got before we get into it, you know, for those that don't know, the Borderland is based off of a video game that dropped back in, I think, in 2009. It's got 3 installments, best-selling video game. The premise, if I'm not mistaken, and Remy, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You know, there's basically 4 individuals that are vault hunters, and it's like a first-person RPG. I've never actually played the game, so Remy, did you want to elaborate on that more? What the game was about?
Okay, so pretty much like you said, there are 4 playable characters in the first movie, which is what this, or in the first game, which is what this movie is based off of. And your 4 characters are Roland and Lilith, which are as featured in the movie. You also have Mordecai and Brick, and they're each a different class of character, so they have different play styles, different things in their skill tree, things like that. But yes, they are vault hunters, and like it is known in the game off jump that they are vault hunters and they're looking for a vault.
Okay, all right. So why don't we go ahead and then get into initial impressions? JS1, why don't you kick it off? Let us know what your initial impressions were.
Sir, I saw Kevin Hart and I said, this is going to be horrible. And that's it.
Sorry. Okay. Remy, how about you? What was your initial impression?
Okay. So when they announced the movie, I was so excited because Borderlands is my top 3 favorite games. I've played every single game in the franchise, start to finish. So I was very excited. I lost that excitement when they announced cast, and it just kind of went downhill from there for me.
She saw Kevin Hart and said, this is going to be a horrible movie.
It's going to be ass.
She said hard pass.
Well, for me, because I had never played the game, when they announced it, I was like, all right, cool. You know, let's see what it could be. You know what I mean? But then when I saw the trailer, you know, the scene with the whole piss in the window, and that was supposed to be a funny moment, and my initial impression was like, this is gonna be absolute garbage. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the review. Now, Remy, you said that basically the character of Lilith and Roland were a part of the first game. Because my question to you, since I hadn't played, was how far does this stray from the original content, or is this like a kind of variation of a story in that same universe, or is it pretty much the same story with, you know, that they combine from all three games? Can you answer that for me?
So from watching the movie, I don't want to say it strays too far from the main storyline, but I mean, it's running pretty parallel. So Roland and Lilith are the only 2 playable characters from the game that you have in the movie, and the way that they are portrayed in the movie is not really at all how they were, or how they're portrayed in the game is not really at all how they were portrayed in the movie, which was like the number one most disappointing thing for me. I'm not sure, like, I don't want to like give any spoilers or anything.
Yeah,
unless,
we're trying not to spoil. But I appreciate you checking.
If you've played the game and you watch the movie, you'll know exactly what I mean. It kind of turned into a character specific background story, which was not what I was expecting. I knew that a few of the main characters weren't going to be in the movie, which another hot topic for me. But it just wasn't what I was expecting in terms of storyline. It was very like one character's backstory centered, and that kind of like threw me off for it. But
okay, all right, I respect that. So I want to be the first to kick this off, being somebody who did not play any of the games, but I am a little bit familiar with the content. I want to kick this off. Then I want to let JS1 have it, and of course, Remy, I'd like you to bring it on home because you are a resident gamer expert, and this is a title and a franchise that you're a big fan of. So I'd like for you to bring up the rear. So for me, myself, highs and lows with this. High for me is that I thought that the project had great pacing. I felt like I was constantly entertained. They didn't waste any time getting into it. I felt like they didn't try to over-explain the universe. They basically just set up the stage for the plot, and then they just kind of got to it. It was like, this is the planet. This is the situation with the beings that left behind these things that caused the technology. And now people are killing each other to try and find this vault to get more technology and possibly even have this, great power to take over the world, whatever was supposed to change the world. And they just got right to it. So I was thoroughly pleased with that, especially being somebody who had no experience with the game whatsoever. I was really worried that they were going to try too hard to like tell everybody's backstory and really explain like all three games in one. And I felt like they did a good job of just like, hey, this is the basics, and if you can follow this, you're good. And I followed it pretty well. The action was actually good. It wasn't great. So that's going to be part of my lows as well. But as a high, it was good. I felt like the choreography for Kevin Hart was on the right level. It didn't take me out. I didn't feel like they tried to do too much with his size. He wasn't out there like, hulking and overpowering people. He wasn't too acrobatic like a luchador. It was within reason. And then the characters that could give us more, or the actors that could give us more, I felt like they did. So I thought that the action was pretty good. And then there were a few moments that did take me out, but it was very few. And so for me, that was a big high, because normally as I'm watching movies, I'm always just like constantly like, that could have been written better, or oh my goodness, why did they shoot like that? Or, oh my God, that line was horrible, or the acting was bad. So for me, it was very, very few, and that may be because I didn't have a reference point. So I was missing any Easter eggs or things of that nature, and I wasn't being as critical like as if I was to watch some Marvel content. So I think that actually helped my experience because I didn't have any reference points. So I was just accepting what I was getting. And like I said, very few points where it took me out. So that was another high for me. Not being a fan of the game, the movie actually kind of made me wonder if I missed out on something, if I should go back and maybe give it a shot. So that's another high. Now, if I get into my lows, the Tiny Tina character, she annoyed the fuck out of me. And me being a person that I don't like kids, especially other people's kids. I understand why she was needed, why she was there. I understand why the character, it made sense why the character had that personality, that persona, a lot of hype around that character and what their purpose was. So it made sense. And I thought it was written proper for the setup, but it was still very annoying for me, and some of the writing kind of already let me know early on where the story was going to go. So while everybody was probably drinking that Kool-Aid about that character, I already knew that there was going to be a shift. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay, I don't want to spoil too much. Outside Claptrap, shout out to Jack Black. The comedy fell flat. So that's a low for me. I knew from the trailer they were going to try and give us this action comedy, and so I was looking for it all the way through. And Claptrap was definitely on point with the comedy and kept me laughing. But everybody else, I felt like there was opportunities with a lot of characters. And I know we always say that Kevin Hart's everywhere. We're tired of seeing him always try to take over, and he's doing too much. So I do applaud him for falling back and just trying to be a character that's outside of Kevin Hart. But I felt like this was the platform where the comedy should have been elevated with everybody, and it was a missed opportunity. But I don't know. I don't know if you can really satisfy me. We haven't really found that level or that spot for Kevin Hart yet. So I mean, I do appreciate what we got, but I just felt like there could have been more comedy all around with all the characters. And then back to the action as a low. The action for me, I felt like the way it was shot and the way it was edited, it was too quick and too close quarters. Like they were basically trying not to show the limitations of the actor, and that's cool to a certain extent, but when you're showing us this much action, I'm one of those people that I want to see that wide shot. I want to see that choreography. I want to be in there doing the moves. And if I watch it again, I'm like, I know the choreography. I'm actually ducking and watching. I want to get into it like that. But they were doing such quick and close cut edits that I wasn't really truly able to enjoy it. But that's just the old school kid in me. When we just did a Black Watch Theater watching The Big Boss of Bruce Lee, and then we had these nice wide shots. So you're seeing all the choreography, all the action, and I've just always been a big fan of that. If you're gonna give me some action, I want to see it. I want to see it. And they were teasing it, but it was still good enough for me to enjoy. But I just wish that we could have gotten some, able to see it more. Even if they went with the stuntman or some CG face over, there was so much CG everywhere in this thing. And then, it wouldn't have bothered me at all. And that's another low for me. There were times where towards the end, that budget was being maximized like a mug. But early on, there was some moments where I was like, y'all didn't even have to spend the money on that. Y'all should have just let that rock. Y'all shouldn't even try it. If you're not going to be able to bring it, then just don't do it. But by the time we got towards the end, I start seeing, okay, this is where the money went. So it made more sense. But those moments kind of took me out. And then lastly, there were the few moments that did take me out were with the writing. And I don't want to spoil, but there's a situation where part of that team that we follow in this movie meet in the beginning, and I would have done it totally different. It felt awkward, it felt forced, and it just really didn't make any sense. And I can't wait to talk to you guys about it in detail. And then there was just another moment towards the end that I would have liked to have been done a little better. But that's where I'm gonna leave it for now until you guys ask me for my rating. JS1, would you like to go ahead and pick it up from there?
Great job. As a seasoned critic, I've done this for a long time. So just wanted to lay down some of my expert visuals that I saw in this film and kind of bring some levity to everything. I did not want to like this film, number one. Number two, didn't think I was gonna love this film, but I love this film. I hate to say it. I'm sorry. Look, I know I'm supposed to trash it with y'all. I'm supposed to hate Kevin Hart in this, but as you said in your review, sir, he toned it down. I didn't even know how he did it. I don't know who, but he took direction well. They were like, yo, just chill, yo. Like, I could never see Kevin being the straight man, but he was almost the straight man in this film. He was, kind of the hero, straight-laced. He wasn't over the top with the jokes. I mean, he was a little screamy and loudy, but he's short. Can't take that away from him. That's a part of who he is. The storyline, because I don't know nothing about Borderlands, totally cool with me. That little 3-minute intro of the film where they just broke down all the dynamics, I was like, cool. Like, they gave me all the necessary pieces so I could go, all right, this is where we at. This is what we doing. I know what we're here for. Let's go. And then they go right from that into stupidity. But it's a big, colorful graphics thing. I never thought that I was gonna watch Borderlands and get House of Cards. If y'all understand what I'm saying. I knew I was here for gunshots. I knew I was here for, this is not a rated R film. It was gonna be PG. You know what I mean? I knew I wasn't going to see a bunch of blood. I knew it wasn't going to go too far to the left or to the right. You know, this was supposed to be for all ages. And as an adult that went to see it on 8:00 on a Thursday tonight, I saw it tonight, just came from the theater. It was fun. We were in the theater laughing. The whole theater laughed. And there wasn't that many people, but you know what I'm saying? We all had good jokes. Whoever what's that little robot thing with the eyeball?
Claptrap.
Yeah, he was funny. No, he said it. Nobody else really is that funny. The little girl, not funny. I was just kind of like, who keeps giving this chick grenades? But like that made it funny to a certain extent because like this kid obviously should not have what she has, but it works. It was a fun storyline. Like you said, pacing was good. I don't want to regurgitate everything that man said. What this man said is right and true. The only difference is that the things that he might have hated and was like, man, this shit sucked. It didn't bother me. I wasn't bothered. I actually was way more surprised at, wow, this is going well. Like, okay, I thought the storyline was going to be way worse. I thought the dialogue was going to be way worse. I thought that, you know, because we see so much stuff nowadays and you know, mostly Tubi crap that kind of throws us off on can people make good films. So I was like, oh man, I forgot. This is Hollywood knows how to make stories. So I was like, all right, this is pretty good. And I went in with zero expectation. So like the fact that you went from zero expectations and brought it up a little bit, I'm kind of impressed. You know what I'm saying? I'm quite sure at this point, Remy's got a bullet with my name on it, and I understand that. You know, and I get my death being justified for taking sides against the corporate villain that is destroying her dreams. But you know, I enjoyed it, man, and I hope that there's a sequel because I would like to go see it now. If I was to be a critic and have lows, the last 10-15 minutes was some bullshit. The closing out scene right before the credits. But that's Hollywood, man. I mean, like I that's it. So I'm shutting up and I'm letting the queen take over. And please, you know what I mean, now tear this film to shreds as you've been promising us via social media and the group chat. Center stage, ma'am. Center stage.
Hey. Okay, so
kill this movie.
They're gonna have to send me a cease and desist because I'm about to rip this movie up. Okay, so I'm gonna start by saying, if you have never played the game before, this is an okay movie. If you have no idea who the characters are, if you have no idea what's going on, by all means, go see this movie. However, if you are, like myself, an avid fan of this game franchise, save your $15. Do not go see this movie. This was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in theaters. One of the worst adaptations of a video game ever. And this is why. Okay, so I've already discussed the casting. It's not the fact that it's Kevin Hart that's playing Roland that gets me, but it's the fact that Kevin Hart plays Roland that gets me. Roland in the games is a very, let me put it this way. I feel like somebody like Idris Elba would have been a much better cast, and it still would have kept like the same feel.
What?
Yes. Okay, but if you play the games, you know, because that is the kind of character that Roland is. He is stoic. He's got good one-liners, but he's very straight-faced, like all the time. Very Kate Blanchett, I'm sure she's a very sweet woman. The wrong pick to play Lilith. Now, there are references to her age in this movie that hint at her being young. She looked as old, if not older, than Jamie Lee Curtis in this movie. And she's supposed to be younger than Jamie's character. So that really didn't track for me. Tina, again, I think they missed the ball on that. Tina is supposed to be this crazy, absolutely off her rocker character. She builds explosives in her stuffed animals. She's insane. In the game, she is a riot. In this movie, she was very mediocre. Krieg was okay. I mean, he's pretty much a giant Neanderthal who just shouts things sometimes. So he pretty much, nailed his performance. I can count on one hand how many times I laughed during this movie, and all of those times were from Claptrap. Point blank period. The fight scenes I thought underdelivered. I thought they were corny. I did not like them. There was a lot of flair in the fight scenes, which I'm really not a fan of as it is, but especially the way that they did it in this movie. The fact that they changed important characters. For example, there was one character in specific who is a man in the games, but they made a woman in the movie for a relationship dynamic, and that's not even the relationship dynamic that's in the game. Like this character and somebody else are supposed to have that relationship, but they changed up that aspect of the movie. So, and I was like, what the hell is this? So I hate to say that all of my talking points about this movie are lows, but they are. The only two highs I would say are probably Claptrap and Krieg. I feel like the monsters, they got pretty accurate. The skags, the rakes, all that. Those were pretty decent. Other than that, the CGI in this movie was god awful, terrible. Like Jay said, and you can definitely see it in the last 10 to 15 minutes there. I was like, what is this that I'm watching? Like, this is, I can make this at home in my iMovie on my phone. Like, it was just not doing it for me. Yeah, and that's pretty much all I can say on that without giving actual spoilers. So go see the movie if you want. I didn't go in with high hopes because I play the game. I'm not coming out disappointed. I'm coming out seeing exactly what I expected to see. And it was hot garbage. And that's just is what it is from my standpoint. But that's why they have me here, is because I played every single one of the games in this franchise, and I can give that opinion. And so you've got the opinion of somebody Jay, who has no knowledge pretty much of this game, and he loved it. And then Eddie, who knows a little bit, and he's had, mixed reviews. And then there's me, who thinks that their budget was $20,000 and they spent every penny. It was terrible. Yeah.
How would you feel if I told you that the budget was $120 million?
I'm going to tell you, I don't think they make that back. I don't. I would honestly, I would get on here and be genuinely shocked if they made that budget back. I don't think that they will. I think it's going to flop the first box office. Truthfully.
All right.
Well, so I want to ask Han Solo how he feels about it.
Everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. All right, so
my teas.
Hey, well, I love that we got the different perspectives. I knew you was gonna definitely be honest with us, and that's what it's all about. Real
you
reviews.
should have seen me in that movie theater. I was pissed off. I was mad as hell. I kept leaning over. I was like, "What the is going on here? This ain't even right. That's not even who that's supposed to be."
It was literally the total opposite of my theater. I'm high-fiving the old white dudes. Yeah.
Oh no. Me and mine are looking at each other like. I've never wanted to leave in the middle of a movie so bad, but I had to thug it out so that I could talk about it. I wanted midway through, I wanted to get up and walk out.
Fame left 30 minutes before the end, but he had to take a piss, and he came back. So
he didn't miss much.
No, he didn't. He
really didn't.
No.
Well, you know what it's time for. But before we do that, like I didn't think that this movie was worth a spoiler discussion, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
I'm so happy to talk about. We
You
can
think
slap a big old
you wanna
spoiler
spoil
alert on the front of it. I will
you think I'm
spoil
not here to
the
spoil?
out of this
You know?
movie.
All
I
right,
will.
let's rate this and close out this safe spoiler-free version. And if you guys got what time is it? Oh yeah. If you guys got time, then we gonna just jump right into a spoiler
You're
discussion.
the
If you
one
guys
that
got,
gotta go to work
I
after
do have to be to work.
At
Yes.
11:45 at night, people. The commitment. Y'all see the commitment? See the commitment.
For you guys.
No,
All
for
right,
you.
Jazz.
All right, let's get into it. Is it a classic? Is it a good watch? Is it a catch on streaming? Is it not doing it for me? Or is it a
Oh, hell no.
oh, if you ever show me this ever again, I will you. And I want the queen of Zamunda to go first. Our Spanish all-star. Come on now. Tell us
I am going to say if you ever show me this movie again, I will slap you.
I will slap the
Woo!
shit. That's why we got the button. We'll get the
Ooh, drove the violence. We don't get that rated too often around this
Yeah.
mark.
That's probably the second time this ever happened.
I'm passionate about how mad I am about this movie. It's
Oh my
insane.
God. So I can't get you movie merch for Christmas, so that's a no. I can't buy you the DVD set and the
Oh, that's a breakup move right there. That's how you know the relationship's over. You give us some Borderlands movie shit. That's how you know the relationship's over.
She ain't never
Never
answered
see me
the phone.
again. Blocked.
That's crazy, dog. That's crazy. All right, sir. Where you at with it?
All right, so I know my reviews were mixed, but honestly, I left out of there really enjoying myself, and I'm gonna give it a good watch. Listen, Remy, we still good?
Hey,
I don't,
yeah. Everybody's
Can I-
entitled to their own opinion, even if it's
can I
wrong.
roll with you? Can I hang with you? Can I still be down with you?
We're gonna have to work on but it's okay. We'll get there.
For the sake of my dog, I ain't gonna go that high. We still a clique, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna represent. I'm gonna say catch on streaming. I ain't gonna say it's that good. You know what I mean? If it's on Netflix, go ahead and watch it. You feel me? If you ain't got nothing else to do, you know, your girl left you, your boyfriend cheated on you, and your life is in shit, why not just watch a shit movie? You know what I'm saying? Because that's how Remy's feeling. So, like, you know what I mean? That's as far as I'm taking it.
I was right there with the catch on streaming, but the fact when you said if there was a second one you'd like to watch it, that made me like, you know, I think that it makes it go up a notch because I actually wouldn't mind seeing the second one myself. So
I wouldn't mind seeing the second one.
look
But,
at Remy,
like,
she
look-
was like, "Fuck you guys."
The only reason I saw the first one is because y'all asked me so nicely.
But
That's
look,
the
let me
only
tell
reason
you
I went.
something.
I wasn't gonna
When
give
I
them
s-
my money.
When I saw Rebel Moon, I said this is some bullshit. But I watched the second. When you said we gonna watch the, did we ever review that?
I know. I've been hoping you wouldn't bring it up.
Oh, you bitch ass nigga! So I watched this by myself. Oh my god!
Okay, I'll watch it, man. We'll get it out. We'll knock it out.
I'm willing to watch the third one too. So whoever you are that made the first two, yo, you might as well close it out at this point. You know what I mean? 3 of the worst films ever created was Blue, whatever the fuck they call that shit.
Rebel Moon. Wow. Yeah. All right. So let us know in the comments what you guys thought. You know, how'd you feel about it? How you feel about this review? Whose side are you on?
There's a clear divide.
It's a clear divide. All right, so I'm gonna close this one out officially just to make it easier on the editing, and then we're gonna jump into a spoiler discussion almost immediately. All right, so real reviews, live and unapologetic. We'll see you guys on the next one.